Samantha Greene, and I am with Damon Gettier and Associate Realtors. I am going to be talking today about what it takes to become a realtor and how the process is. I know that for everyone out there who's thinking about making this step, it can be a very scary decision. I know for me it was. It took me a long time to decide that I wanted to do this. But now that I have done it, I cannot be more happy. So to start off, the process can be a little intimidating when you're first deciding whether or not you want to be a realtor is probably the hardest part because it's the part that's unplanned. So for me, I decided based off of where I wanted my life to go and where I was in life currently. I had some family members who were real estate agents and they helped me a lot learn about the process and what the career actually was. Because it's not just selling houses, it's not just being like, here's a house, go look at it. You have to actually do some work and commit yourself fully to the job, just like any other position or any other career. It's not necessarily an 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week either. You have to put in some extra work in your free time, especially when you're starting off, because you're building your business and you are making sure that you are setting yourself up for success later on down the line. So in order to do the process, first thing you need to do is sign up for a class, which you can either do online, hybrid, which can be a Zoom call, or in person. That's your decision to make, whatever best fits you. And then after you do the class, you're going to want to sign up for the test. And the test for me was probably the most complicated part. For me personally, I chose to do an online course. And with that, I made my own schedule and I had to hold myself accountable, which is very important in a real estate career. You have to be able to self-discipline and self-manage yourself 24/7 because at the end of the day, even though you're working with a brokerage, you are your own boss. Also, while we're on the topic of brokerages, when you are choosing your brokerage, it's not like a typical interview process. You can interview multiple different brokerages and figure out which one best fits you. Every single brokerage offers something different and it may align with your values. Here at Damon Gettier and Associates, they really valued training and teamwork, and that is something that really appealed to me because I was so new and I didn't have a sphere of people that I could just sell houses to. So I needed the extra help, and that was something that I was looking for. So when you're going throughout this process, make sure that you are finding whatever is important to you and make sure you're asking tough questions. Make the most of your interviews, and remember, you're interviewing them, not the other way around. When you guys are signing up for your course, whether it be online, in person, or hybrid, it's really important that you do your researches into the types of classes and don't necessarily pick the cheapest option because that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. See what each type of course offers. For me, I chose an online course at Mosley.com. They are a great real estate website and they have plenty of classes, and they did a really good job of dividing each module into what I needed to know, and they also told me how many questions from that module were going to appear on the national or state exam. They walked me through the process, they gave me practice tests, and it was very self-paced, but I found it very helpful. It's their own set of challenges with it, but I got through it. When you're signing up for your class, just make sure that you are doing your research into what you want. That is the number one most important thing. And then from there, after you've signed up for your class, stick to a schedule. Make sure that you are being timely about when you're completing things, whether it's online or in person. You want to make sure that you're studying with whatever process best fits you. For me, I used a lot of online forums such as Quizlet, YouTube, Google. Look up information. Make sure you are studying whichever way fits you. I made so many flashcards. Later, I found out that was not the best option for me because I kept losing flashcards when I was studying on my floor. But whatever process works best for you, you know how you learn best, so use it. And study throughout the entire process. Make sure that you're not waiting till the very end. I know how a lot of people like to procrastinate. I am one of them. I am one of those people that in high school and college waited till the last minute, wrote my essay the day before, and it was fine. For this is not something you can wait for till the last minute. You need to study the whole time because the test is intense. It is very language-based. Study your definitions because it's really hard to answer a question if you don't know what the word means in the question, if that makes sense. It was a hard process, but I got through it. And also, don't hold yourself to such a high standard to where if you don't pass one of them the first time, it's okay. The test, you can retake it. You can take it as many times as you want and it will be okay. Personally, I did not pass both tests on the same day. I had to take one of them a second time, and I'm really glad that I did because I studied harder and it made me retain the information more, and I still remember that to this day. So make sure that you're studying hard and not being so hard on yourself if you can't pass it the first time. The test itself, you sign up through a testing facility near you. Ours was the PSI testing facility, and it was intense. You get a bag when you get there, and you have to put your phone and all your belongings in it. You sign a sheet to make sure that you're not cheating. They actually had like a wand and they waved me down to make sure I did not have any electronics on me, to make sure I was not cheating throughout this process. I felt a little bit like I was going into a dangerous situation. It was kind of fun though. And then when you're in the testing process, take use of what they have. So they have earplugs there, and I know that when I was testing, there were other people there taking other tests, and I am easily distracted. You only get about 2.5 hours to take the test. The first test is the national portion, and it's about 80 questions long. The second test is 40 questions long, and that is just the state portion. When I was going throughout my class, I knew that there were separate portions, but what I didn't understand is that there's 2 separate tests, and they are both graded separately. So for the first portion, the 80 questions, you have to get 56 of those correct, and then for the second portion, the state portion, you have to get 30 out of the 40 questions correct, which I think had a little bit to do with why I did not pass necessarily the first time, but I try not to be too hard on myself. I think it's because I did not understand that those 2 were separate tests and graded separately, because a lot of the classes that you take, the practice tests, are graded all together, so you just have to get a certain amount of questions out of the 120 questions there is correct. And I was passing my practice test and I was so confident, and then when I got there and they were like, when you're done with your first test, don't forget to do your second one. I was like, what? That is crazy. So make sure that you know that, you're aware of it, and study your state stuff separately. All of your state-related questions, study them separately so that you don't have to stress about whether or not you're going to pass both, because that was my biggest mistake. I was a little lenient when I was studying the state portion, and I ended up not passing that one. So make sure that you're doing that. After you do successfully pass your test, you finish, and they print out these sheets that say, congratulations, you passed, as proof for DPOR. So DPOR is the Department of Professional and Occupational Regulation. So they are the ones that approve your license. They are the ones that say, in the state of wherever you are, mine's Virginia, in the state of Virginia, you are licensed to be a real estate agent. So that application process, it can either be done on your own at the facility of your testing, or if you're like me, I chose my brokerage beforehand, so I did it with my brokerage. We fill out the application, you pay a fee, and then you send in your proof of passing, which was so satisfying after all of that hard work. You send in your proof of passing, and you also have to make sure that you have your fingerprints recently done. I believe it has to be within 90 days. That to me was something that I did not know about. My brokerage had to tell me, and I was very shocked by it because I was like, why are they fingerprinting me? I'm not a criminal. It's basically just to make sure that you are who you say you are and you're not doing anything bad and you're not known for doing anything bad in the past, which is fine. But that is also another fee, and I did mine at my testing facility. But you have to make sure that if you're sending in your DPOR application, you want to have those fingerprints done beforehand, like within a couple days before, or very quickly after. So make sure that you're getting that stuff done. And then once you finish all of that process, and no, there's more. That is exactly what I thought too. Once you finish all of that process, you then have to wait 2 to 8 weeks, and it's not typically 2 weeks. 2 to 8 weeks for DPOR to come back and say, congratulations, you're approved, you passed, you did it. It's a long 2 to 8 weeks, I will say. Mine took 6 weeks, so I was right there in the middle. And when I finally got that email, I was so excited because it meant I finally got to get started, but not quite yet. After you finish that and you get your approval, you will sign up for something that's called an association. So an association in real estate basically means what area of where you live that you cover and you can sell houses in. So for me, my association is the RVAR, which is the Roanoke, Virginia Association of Realtors. So I had to call them, schedule a time to meet, and they explained to me my whole new member process and made sure that I was through DPOR and had everything that I needed to have by then. And they give me a giant packet of everything that I need to know about how I access houses, how I look them up, how I do my research. We use something called the MLS, which is very, very useful. I can see every house on the market in that specific area, which shows me exactly how many houses are on the market, and it's very useful for finding things very quickly for your clients and customers. And then after that, I also had to get access to how we unlock house doors, because not everybody can have access to the houses that are for sale. So basically, it's a little app on your phone for us that I just click to one of the unlock boxes, which is very fun. It was a cool process to learn, but they go through everything you need to know. And then they also tell you what your fee goes towards. So the association is probably the most expensive part of the process. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that in order to get started in this career, it's gonna cost you a little bit of money. And it's an investment into yourself. If this is something you truly want to do, you're investing into yourself and your future, and I promise you it becomes worth it. The association can cost anywhere between $600 to $1,200 depending on when you join, and that is a bit pricey, especially considering all the other fees you endure before this point. But like I said, you're investing into yourself, and that's what's really important, and you will get your money back eventually, especially if you're putting in all the work and working hard. Like I mentioned earlier, I already chose my brokerage before I even started most of the process. And that was very helpful because they helped me throughout the way the entire time. And to be honest, I think they kept me accountable, especially because I did mine online and I was working another full-time job while I was doing the class. And so them keeping me accountable was very helpful, and I did love that. But if you're not that type of person and you have not already chosen your brokerage, it is not too late. You don't have to have a brokerage yet. When you go to fill out your DPOR application, you can do it through your testing facility. If you don't already have a brokerage, that's okay. But by that point is probably when you would want to start looking for a brokerage. And like I said earlier, you just need to make sure that you're putting whatever ideals or core values you have first. You want to make sure that you're putting yourself first, because at the end of the day, you're the person making you money, not them. It's not like a typical job. It's not a Monday through Friday. You get paid by the hour. You get paid by what you sell. So you want to make sure that you choose somewhere that's going to help you sell the most that you can. So that way you're getting your return on your investment. And ideally, personally, what I would look for is places that help you find people, unless you already know that you have a bunch of people that you can sell to. You're good at calling people, you're good at on the phone. For me, what was the most important was training. So at Damon Gettier & Associates, we have a very unique training program. Not many other brokerages do what we do here. In fact, in this area, I cannot think of a single one that does what we do. Damon is very supportive of making sure that we know what we're supposed to be doing, so that we're doing everything the right way the first time, and that we don't have a chance to get sued unless we make a mistake on our own part, because that is something scary when you're working by yourself. You want to make sure you have someone who's going to stand by you when you need them to. So just make sure that you're doing your research. And please, please, please do not be afraid to ask tough questions. If they didn't want you there, they wouldn't be having that interview with you. They are having this conversation with you because they want you as a realtor at their firm, because you help them make money. So remember that you're the one helping them. So keep that in mind when you're going through these interviews and choosing where you want to be. Okay, I know that I have given you guys a lot of information, but I hope that you guys find this video helpful and that it helps you throughout your process, because I know that it can be a very long and lengthy and complicated process to get through. So I just want to wrap this up by giving you guys some of last bit of advice. My biggest advice is be patient. It's a long process and it's meant to be. And at the end of the day, zooming through this process will not help you to be any better of an agent than you think you will. In fact, it will harm you in the long run. You want to take your time and make sure you are studying every ounce of information, because it will help you in the long run. Especially, it will help you get through the test, which is the hardest hump to get over throughout the process. So you want to make sure that you are working hard, motivating yourself in any way you can. Stick to a strict schedule. Write out a schedule for yourself. Do not let yourself not reach those goals. Holding yourself accountable is going to help you ultimately in this process. And it will also help you when you are a real estate agent, because self-management and self-discipline, like I said earlier, are the two key items to success. So you have to take control of your own life and make yourself the best person you can be if this is something that you want. Anyways, guys, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, day, evening, morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.